I fight my iPad. And, well, I hope everyone's doing well. I got a lot of glare out here. I'm actually on the wrong side of my own iPad, which doesn't help me at all. So, folks, I hope you're all doing well. Um, Man, a lot of things happened today, and it's actually interesting the way things all wind up overlaying one another. So, for the record, if you hear, hey, coffee, if you hear a meowing cat, the cat was already fed. Hey, Kentucky, today is not wet food day, it's dry food day. Hudson, what's up, Mike? It is dry food day, but the cats are protesting. They are not starving. There are assholes, both of them, which is why Bentley chases one of them on site. Hey, coffee. Hey, Hudson, the dude, Border Tiger. Hello, hello. Okay, so I shared little tidbits of this with some of the other creators, including Hudson Valley. This is the updated reports. Hey, no worries, man. We're making pork ribs, barbecue style, but they're being basted right now, and they're baking, which is really good, by the way. It makes the meat really tender. I should do a video on that, make everyone happy. For the record, I did not put tequila in my Topo Chico. I was tempted to. Um, my wife makes a killer potato salad with the egg chunks and little bits of veggies in there. Anyway, now that I've made everyone hungry, I hope everyone's doing well. Hey, Grateful. Hey, Daryl. Kentucky, Prepper Chick. Hello. Howdy, howdy. I think I got everyone. Hey, Shorty. What's going on? So, can you guys hear me okay? Everyone can hear me. Gotta get to the dishes. No worries. Hey, Pilgrim. So, normally I do this on a Saturday, but thank you, Hudson. There have been some reports. Prepper now usually is really on his game. He reported earlier. If you haven't seen, it's a very short video, and I think it was on the Crisis Report channel, not the regular one. That uh, a Navy ship took fire, one of our ships, from a third party. I don't know if Jason did something earlier, but I didn't get to see Jason's yet. Uh, and Economic Ninja brought up that some of the suppliers, it was Yemen, okay, some of these suppliers from for Kroger, Walmart, not United, the other outfit, Rite Aid, whatever, the supplier has gone out of business because of costs and whatnot. So really weird, a lot of weird interrelated stuff happening all at once. Hey, Yard Dog, what's going on? So let me see. Africa news. This is an update from Africa. 100 billion go. It's 100 million or 100 billion. There goes the next shipment. There you go. Just what they need to win the masses over for World War III. Tell me about it. So, Chad's defense minister. Oh no, this is not the article. Governmental general secretary resigns after sex tapes leaked. Okay, well, not what I was looking for, but that's interesting. Liberia, nope. So Sudan, remember I told you Sudan was in a shit. So I look back, I think Sudan was one of the 6 or 7 nations that they were going to topple, right? It was Iran, Iraq, Libya, Syria, Sudan, and there was another one, and I can't remember what the other one was. But the U.S. calls on Sudan's paramilitary RSF to stop shelling civilians. The problem is it's war, right? Now, I don't think Israel would have targeted a hospital in Gaza. They might have hit it by accident. It could have been Hamas fired a rocket and hit it by accident. Regardless, hey, Dan Phillips, it's a combat zone, right? Rifles jam, rockets malfunction, planes don't take off right. Shit just happens. Hey, good morning, good evening, Virginia. Good morning. It's been one of those days. I can't even talk. I should just go to bed. Anyway, Uganda, UK warns against travel to Uganda Park after a deadly attack. Um, the UK warned its citizens to avoid travel to a popular Ugandan park. Now, by the way, when I say Ugandan park, it's not like, oh, we went to Central Park. It's like one of those wildlife preserves where you go and see safari stuff. Uh, avoid after two tourists, including a Briton and their guide, were killed in an attack blamed on a militia. Hey, KP, and there are a few other people snuck in on me here. Your dog, no, I said hi. Daryl, Dan, grateful. Okay, sorry, my sinuses are killing me. These changes of weather out here just mess with me. Now, China and Thailand. China's president calls for effort to fight cross-border crimes with Thailand. That's Reuters MSN. Thailand and China should step up efforts to crack down on cross-border crimes such as telecom fraud and gambling, according to the Chinese. Indonesia kicks off election season as candidates sign up for presidential race. So a lot of countries are having elections next year, not just us. A lot of key countries. That's going to be interesting. So, hey, Kevin, welcome. Thina. Yeah, no, Thina. Well, at least it's not Thonga. That would be really weird. Um, so, Czech Republic. So, this is from Europe. Czech government survives a no confidence vote in parliament sought by a populist ex prime minister. Only 85 opposition lawmakers in the 200-seat House voted to dismiss the leadership. So, now Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic and Slovakia are probably two of the more stable countries of the old Eastern Bloc. Um, so it's good that despite their disagreements, they did not get into some extended shit. Because think about it. It would be in certain parties' best interest that our governments, when I say ours, I say the West, are in shambles. We don't have a Speaker of the House. Our president's not feeling good. This guy's parliament got disbanded. This guy's under duress. You kind of see how that plays out. Hey, Winning Street. So this is interesting. Denmark, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and the UK, Northern Europe braces for gale force winds and extensive flooding. That's the Associated Press again. And the last one, the Czech, was also Associated Press. So much of Northern Europe braced for stormy weather and gale force winds. I thought they always get stormy weather. It's the North Sea. Like, why is this? I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so in France, here's where we start getting into some of the fun stuff. France. French officials suspect young people in rash of fake bomb threats, warn of heavy punishments. France's government is threatening prison terms and heavy fines for callers who make fake bomb threats. Uh, False alarms force the evacuation of 15 airports and the cancellation of 130 flights and shut the doors of the Versailles Palace 3 times. So think about it. That's a massive waste of what happened? Good news, I paid the. Congrats, Joe. Salud. And no, there's no tequila. I didn't make ranch water today in the bottle. I was tempted, but I wound up with a meeting tomorrow morning. So I actually have to focus and function. Bolchinian. Oh, God. The Men in Black reference is not lost on me there now. Hey, Johnny, welcome. Johnny, we're going through the State Department public headlines. And this is a summary really meant for companies. And it all references public release stuff. So turn into Charles Whitman today. Wait till Sunday, because maybe, by then the terrorists will show up and then you'll have someone to shoot. I shouldn't say that because then we'll all get busted. So friendship people, let's see, 130 flights. And then, so there you have a lot of fake reports coming from young individuals. And let me see if I can pull up that particular article. That's a massive waste of resources. It's also a great way to test response times and who shows up. Hey, Jess, who shows up in what location and how fast? So you call a bomb threat to, I don't know, airport A. Will SWAT team show up? Does the Army show up? Who shows up? How long does it take them? They're calling this mischief. Honestly, I think it's a probing attack. They're trying to collect information on the response times. And here's your article. I don't know if you guys can see that. French officials suspect pranksters. It could be pranksters, right? But if I were a bad guy, I'd be like, well, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to pay a bunch of teenagers $100 a piece and tell them, hey, call in a bomb threat here, right? The kids get busted. They won't remember who the hell I am. But that's a great way to test responses and to wear out the responders, right? So then Germany, Europe anti-Semitism, Berlin synagogue targeted as attacks rise. Berlin's Jewish community has been shaken by two petrol bombs, basically Molotovs, thrown at a synagogue amid a spike in anti-Semitic incidents in some European countries. Police said two people threw burning bottles filled with liquid in what is described as an attempted arson. I'll get that article for you here in a minute. And this is the kind of asymmetric stuff that becomes a real problem. So this is from BBC, so I like to stay here. There you go. Can you see those when I put the screen against the camera? Sometimes it looks clear to me and sometimes it doesn't. But if you want to look it up, that's the article. Do I have live chat? Yeah, I do have live chat. Okay. Europe anti-Semitism, Berlin synagogue targeted as attacks rise. No, but you can burn the inside, right? All the contents are typically, I've been in synagogues, I'm sure you have too. So yeah, um, it's an attempted arson is what they're calling it. But again, they're trying to see what they can get away with. So it turns out the riot in our capital 2 days ago, which was they took over the Capitol, and everyone's like, "What are you going to arrest them?" Taco pushers, MMA. Maybe she's kind possibly Johnny. Johnny, you know what? I need to do a taco live for you. I need to do a cooking live like I used to do earlier in my channel and make like fresh pico and everything while I'm drinking because that can get interesting about halfway through the dinner. Mm. We can do that. Get Johnny a good recipe for enchiladas or fajitas. Then you can impress your friends, right? Invite them over, tell them, I'll make fajitas, bring booze, lots of booze and chips, right? And then you'll be squared away. Hey, Alexandra. By the way, Alexandra's had some zinger amazing short videos. If you have not watched her channel, go find Alexandra and Hudson. Joe's in the gulag because he said bad words too much. Hey, coffee, no problem. I'm a Sigma male owner, no friends. Okay, then you have to buy your own booze and share it with the dog or the cat. But anyway, so that's in Europe. See, and these little probing issues, the calling in fake attacks, the arson, that gets really hard for the law enforcement, the firefighters, everyone to respond to, because you can do that very easily, very cheap, and it's dangerous. It's a problem. And then in Russia, a Russian American journalist charged in Russia with failing to register as a foreign agent. Um, According to her employer, she may have been helping someone other than Russia out, and she got busted, and that's what the official word. Hey, Wolfang, welcome. Uh, Russia carries out new overnight airstrikes on Ukraine. This is from, hold on. Hey, where is it? Reuters News. Now, this is going to be ongoing, so Ukraine hasn't gone away anywhere, right? They're still going to continue to fight with each other. So this shouldn't be a big shock to anyone. But these little weird attacks, the calling in of fake bomb threats, that is a great way to measure response times, response quantity, capacity. And remember when Russia went to the border of Ukraine with a bunch of troops, then they left, they came back, they left. They did this for years, right? It normalized. Hey, Suburban. Hey, Loretta. How you doing, Loretta? Good to see you. Hey, American Eagle Scout. Welcome. Yeah, but a lot of folks on the East Coast are cooking dinner. Ours is in the oven right now. That's why I'm out here causing mischief on the internet. So these little probing attacks, if you start seeing upticks in that, to me, that's concerning because what it's telling me is somebody's trying to check, hey, Militant, somebody's trying to check response times. Wolfang, hey, Coffee Cheek, the chat needs more skinny, so go round up your friends. Ready Day in British Columbia. Oh yeah, you guys are 2 hours behind us. So that's a great way to measure the response time of other responders, the how fast you can get there. Also, think about it. If I want to screw up something, I'm like, okay, what route are they taking? Where are the fire trucks coming from? Like, you get a lot of information if you actually plan that out. So, just something to pay attention to. Of course, in the Middle East, Israel will allow humanitarian aid trucks into Gaza as U.S. plans to move in more resources. Um, that's on CBS News, and MSN says Gaza to get aid by Friday. So XRP, imagine. hmm A lot of it's a racket, man. Excuse me. So Bangladesh, IMF and Bangladesh agreed to first review a 4.7 billion bailout from the Monetary Fund. This is from, let's see, the article is from Reuters again. So again, what blows my mind, if every country's in debt, who owes who the money? Like, where's the money going? It's going somewhere, clearly. And that's something that's concerning. Now in Mexico, dengue cases are up 300% this year alone, but they don't give you a number. Like, if you have 3 people and now you have, you know, 9 people, that's technically 300%, right? So it doesn't give you the actual numbers. That's in Mexico News Daily. There's a hurricane in Mexico too, so you may not want to go there right now for vacation. But you're seeing a lot of probing issues in some of these countries. You're seeing a lot of these cases of calling it, that is not a jetliner. Oh no, it's a big fat transport. And away he goes. Man, the planes have been. Is it me or is anyone else? Israel is the best intel. Well, the dude, it's funny. I spoke to a lot of the veterans guys out here, and almost all of them said they got complacent. He said they probably got warnings and they're like, no, they wouldn't dare do that. Or they got tidbits of information and didn't put them together. But even so, I mean, Biden has a money tree. Yeah, we're the money tree. Well, tell me you think World War III will happen. Been choppers here, not a lot of planes. It drips from, oh, he prints it himself. So there's been a lot of weird, and you're going to see what's going on in Israel, what's going on in Ukraine as an excuse for people to lash out at each other. And they're going to hide probing attacks as instability, right? They're going to say, oh, well, this jihadist was upset, so he called him bomb threats. Or this guy was upset and he firebombed the synagogue, or he firebombed the mosque, whatever side the person's on. And what you're looking at could be a lot of people basically looking for response times, who shows up, what shows up. And that bothers me. And unfortunately, how do you plan against that, right? And the Hamas video. Commercial airplane has everything flying at very low for several months. Very low. Okay, we've been noticing that too. Because that plane, they normally don't come this way, and there's no wind. It's always windy out here. There is zero wind. That guy came, he was probably 500 feet off the ground. True, and the dude, you're absolutely right. You have those issues with the inflation, with the financial problems, foods shortages, fuel shortages, and right now our petroleum reserve is super low. Let me see, SPR. I need to be able to spell. So let's see what the EIA says. So that really doesn't help. That's like amazingly small, so I don't think anybody's going to be able to see that. Hang on a second. Here we go. So this is from 1975 to today. I don't know if you guys can see that. So this, oh no, this is where it was 0. And that's today. Like, we are half where we normally would be. I don't know if you can see that. And if you can't, it's eia.gov. But you see, this is where wartime fuels are stored, right? And that to me bothers the hell out of me, because we never replenished it when the price of oil was low. Now it's high, and the administration's saying, well, we don't have money for it. We have money for other things, but not for that. The munitions manufacturers, some of the public ones, are saying, hey, we're not making for civilians anymore. We've been contracted to make X for the military. And they come off the open market. There's a lot of little pieces. Somebody was saying drip, drip or something earlier, and that's 100% right. Hey, winning streak again. Oh no, trickle, trickle. So, oh, that's regarding Powell. Never mind. I missed that reference. I saw him backwards. No, Kentucky, and that's my point. Oh, yep, nope. All right, it is now official. Potentially toward Israel, but it was close enough to our Navy ships to be intercepted. So now, one interesting thing, Yemen has been provided long range, surface to surface, and surface to sea missiles by someone. Everyone blames Iran because that's the default person to blame out there. 100 no. Oh yeah, no, the dude, absolutely. So this kind of these kind of situations, they evolve, and they evolve in pieces. And the problem is, it's really hard to track all of the pieces. I don't know if you guys can see me. I can't even see me now because of the sun. I'm going to move my camera a little bit. I might frame the damn title and hang it on the wall. Every last hope and dream I had died to pay that off. Hey, Teresa, welcome. Persia, yeah. So you're seeing a lot of these asymmetric incidents. Okay, imagine if when they went into the Capitol, right? Now, supposedly they arrested 300 protesters. Great. If the right riots, arrest their ass. If the left riots, arrest their ass too, right? Enforce the law the same way. But right now, we're in an environment where there's a high likelihood of terrorism. Who's to say one of those terrorists couldn't walk up into the rotunda and clack off a vest? Or let's say they don't want to go through security. Who's to say they won't go and get into the crowd and set off a vest? Think about it. You have a protest going on. You have hundreds, if not thousands, of people all compacted. What a great target. And some of these folks, sorry, my sinuses again, are like, hey, they would be martyrs. This is the kind of stuff that bugs me. So, look, going forward, folks, there's going to be more protests. There's going to be more riots. There were people getting caught in the protests in Dallas, did not know they were going on. I didn't even know it was going on, but I wasn't headed to Dallas that day because I probably would have dug in and tried to check it out. So people were getting caught on the streets. People were getting caught in flattery. There you go. Ha, I see what you did there. Um, People got caught in their vehicles on the street. They had nowhere to go. I promise you, most of them didn't have a bug out bag or get home bag of any type, so they sat in their car and panicked, right? And this is kind of what what's concerning is these gatherings in and of themselves can make a potential target. So honestly, if you're not, thank you, Loretta. Honestly, if you're not actively looking at having to go into a certain area, if they're having a protest, don't participate unless you're going to go there and be an amateur journalist, which is fine because the rest of us would love to see the footage. Not where you want to go. You don't want to go into stores during crazy shopping times, right? Start shopping at oddball times, right? Sunday afternoon at the grocery store is always insane, right? Because everyone's buying for the week. I don't know, go Wednesday night. Like, who the hell wants to go to the grocery store Wednesday night unless they need milk for the kids? No, now is not a good time to travel overseas. Yeah, I mean, you can do that, Joe, too, but you have to figure out who that needs to be aimed at. No, Watchmen, all the article said was that it did come from Yemen. They did not specify who may have fired it, although there's a limited list of people who would have fired that off. Now, the son of the Hamas leader breaks his silence on decision to denounce terror groups. They don't care about Palestinians. And that's interesting because that's the Hamas. Sounds a lot like another organization that was saying, you know, people are not being good, people are this, our lives matter. And then those families that they protested about didn't get a penny. Hey, Navi, long time no see. I'm glad to see you're doing okay. Um, it looked like I picked a bad week to fly to Paris. Well, Daryl, if and when you get there, if you are flying to Paris, and it's not a joke, but if, I mean, any one of us could be going there, call the hotel in advance, ask them what's going on in the area. If you do have to travel, you're going to be in a hotel, get snacks, get water, get food. If you can't bring it with you, like in an airplane, you're not going to bring snacks, right? If I'm driving from home to Dallas to Houston, I'm going to stop at the grocery store, pick a case of water. I'll bring my cooler. I get a bag of snacks. And that's kind of like that way I don't have to go out of the hotel unnecessarily. I can go conduct my business, get the hell out. You got peg bugs and protests. Yeah, tell me about it, winning streak on a C-130 with those janky chairs. Oof. If you even get a chair. Or you may sit on the floor next to a Humvee. Off and forward, neighbors across the street. Oh, currently. Suburban, that's probably the best course of action if you have neighbors like that. Look like you picked the wrong week to quit drinking. So keep in mind, these kind of attacks will always target either political or economic places, or will target for head count, right? At least when I went through that counterterrorism schools, that's something we were told. And it makes sense, right? If I was a bad guy, I want to hurt people, I'm not going to go out into a park where there's 5 dog walkers, right? I'm going to go somewhere where there's a crowd of people. All right, coffee, be good. Don't burn dinner. Um, but I understand why serial killers exist. Nice, Joe. But if you got to travel, like the example of going to Paris, call the hotel. I would get French money, the francs or euros, whatever they're using euros now. Get euros here at your bank. That way, when you get on that plane, you're not having to stop at some janky exchange place and show US dollars. Have dollars, have euros in your pockets already. Have some in your pants, have some in your check-in bag, right? Just enough that if you get your wallet stolen, you have backups. Another thing to do if you're traveling and you need a passport, make a photocopy of your passport and driver's license. Put the paper copies in your backpack and put 2 more in your suitcase. In the event you lose or get your passport stolen, you can go to the consulate with the photocopies and say, look, this is me. I made copies of it, but they stole the original. And you can go to the consulate and get help. So another tip, if you're going, even if it's domestic, to another city, make sure, call the hotel, ask them what's going on. Um, Also, pick hotels if you can that are near grocery stores, not near Walmart because Walmarts get janky at night, but like a grocery store has a good corner store there. And what that allows you to do is it allows you, if you do need something, you can go right down the street, go across the parking lot, get what you need, get right back to the hotel. It minimizes, hey Alex, it minimizes your uh, your exposure as well. C-130 flights in the military if you were low grade. Yeah, no shit. But hold on, I lost. Oh, I'll go to Hotel Rwanda. Oh no, don't go to Hotel Rwanda. That's terrible. Um, you know, do your homework before you make a trip. I've done some videos regarding, travel and how to plan out road trips in advance. It's some of my very early videos. Um, but go back for those. I might do some more here shortly because I'm going to have to do travel again. So I'll start giving people refreshers, anything I've changed since I made those original videos, because we're all evolving. But folks, do your homework before you make the trip. Know the hotel, check the ratings, check what's around the hotel, whether it's domestic or international. If you have to get a money exchange, get the money from your local bank here at home so you have both currencies when you leave the door. As a matter of fact, from my last trip to Europe, I still have euros. I had a trip to Argentina. I have pesos. I have all these different dollar bolivars. I have all these different currencies in a little box in my gun safe. If I need to run out the door and go somewhere, at least I have a few. Motel hell. Nice. Oh, Suburban, excellent choice of dinner tonight. We're making we've got ribs in the oven right now. They were basting and now they're baking. And then potato salad, and Sassy's cooking tonight, so I got a couple of nights off, which was nice. And she's making double quantities, so we have dinner for tonight, and then whatever's left over, we're sticking it, depending on whether it's liquid or not. We're sticking it in a food saver, sealing it, writing down the date, and it goes into the freezer. So we have a quick meal in the future. Saves us money and it saves us some time. But do your homework before you guys make a road trip. They're hitting a lot of places. And Navi had said earlier that people are acting crazy. Navi works in shall we say, a retail establishment in a major city in Texas. And so you see a lot of weird in bigger cities. And Texas is better than most other cities. So, the Texas cities in general, not all of them. So pay attention when you walk in somewhere. Ham and dirty rice is a really good one too. You know what? If you have andouille sausage, you cut little circles, saute them, and throw them in the rice with some black beans. It comes out really good. Knock you out. It's all carbs and meat, but tastes good. Um, what you want to do before you travel is do your homework. Okay, especially like there are attacks in Germany, there are attacks in France, there's protests in DC. You don't want to travel and land somewhere or drive into something you were not aware of. Navy beans, August, and vegetables and seasoning. Oh, I'd have to think about that one, Joe. Shoot. You got the protein with the beans. I'm trying to think of you could saute the vegetables, but you have to reconstitute them. You could do a soup, throw all of that in the soup and make it almost like a chili. Get pissed at me. Cards keep getting declined. And and they get pissed at you. See, and there have been a lot of issues with banks lately, so that just makes me more suspicious. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a problem, like a bank problem, but people are running out of money, people are broke, people are getting laid off. They're saying there are more jobs, but they're counting everything, climate change. Um, they're blaming everything, or they're saying Jobs are better, right? There are more jobs. But what's happening is we're losing full-time jobs and replacing them with part-time jobs, right? So if I'm a full-time worker and I lose my job, so now I work at Walmart, I work at somewhere else, I work at somewhere else, now I have three jobs. So it looks like, oh, we added net two, right? Because I lost one, gained three, so we have net two. But no, you don't have freaking net two because this was my job and these are not real full-time jobs. I'm trying to put them together to make a living. So the job numbers we're seeing are fictitious. People are getting upset, they're freaking out, and they're going into stores like what Navi's dealing with, and the cards are getting declined, and that's why you see the theft. All this stuff, all this stuff is intermingled. And then you take the global picture, people picking fights. Whenever there's bad economic times is when countries start picking fights with each other. So again, folks, if you got to travel, if you got to visit family, if you got to go somewhere else, do your homework in advance. Check your route, check traffic, check the weather, call the hotel if you're going to stay at a hotel, ask them what the parking's like, what's nearby the hotel or their grocery stores. If you can bring stuff home and nuke it in the hotel fridge and just stay there, go about, do your business, do your visits, and then get your ass back to the hotel, great. I like hotels that have a small restaurant and a bar in them. I can go down, I have a glass of wine or bottled beer, whatever, have a dinner. I won't typically drink liquor on the road because I don't want to get sloppy. I just want to relax and go to bed. Although sometimes a couple of shots of bourbon will put you to bed too. Do your homework, and then, you know, when you go, you'll be at least prepared. You'll know the lay of the land, the area, how the streets run. You don't want to show up blind. There's so many people, even business folks I deal with, we're all like, we have to go to Dallas for a meeting, right? Or we have to go to Houston for a meeting. So we fly in from four different places to Houston. I know Houston. I lived there for years. I'm still going to check the local hotel. I'm going to have a rental car, make sure it's full, have my stuff with me. I keep my EDC in my checked luggage because I can't take it in the plane. I put it in the checked luggage, take it out, put it on my person, and I'm ready to go. Before I even leave the airport, I know where I'm going. I know what the traffic's like. I know what the weather should be like. I have cash on hand so I don't pull out credit cards. A little bit of preparing before your trip will save you a lot of time, especially if they're hitting synagogues, they're hitting stores, they're calling in bomb threats. You don't, and think about it, you want to do something bad, call a bomb threat, get everyone to evacuate, and then attack those folks. You know what I mean? There's so many things going on. Just plan yourself out. And that will take away so many of these variables if you kind of know what you're getting into before you land in the plane, before you park and check into the hotel. You know what's going on. So, folks, that was kind of your overview from the State Department. Those things happening in Europe with the synagogues and the attacks on stuff, you're going to start seeing them here. Dan H, in defense of the hotel bars, they tend to overpour, which is fine by me, especially if it's been bad meetings. I could always use the extra booze, so for sure. But in any case, folks, pay attention, watch what's going on, do your homework before you go to a strange place. And again, even when you're on the road going from A to B, if you bring snacks, you bring food, you bring a change of clothes in the back, you don't have to stop as much at the janky truck stops with the hookers and the drug addicts and all that. Because other than having to go to the bathroom, you really don't have to stop the car. It's just bathroom and gas, right? So keep that in mind. Remember, this stuff, we can plan around it if we do our homework. So after the attacks, you could go to the hotel. And they all hang out there at the bar. Well, not all of them. Some of them may try to kill you in the bar. You never know. But I digress. In any case, folks, plan out. If you're going to make trips, especially during the holidays, plan your route, have your Airbnb waiting, whatever it is you're doing for your circumstance, plan it out before you leave the house. Bring your snacks so you don't have to stop. Just be smart like that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to run. It's time for me to start mixing drinks for dinner. You guys be good, be safe out there, and pay attention to what's going on. If you have no plans, just there are a lot lizards. Lizards. I haven't heard that phrase in forever. Oh God, Navi, that one made my night. That was just funny. I haven't heard that phrase in a very long time. Anyway, guys, be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. Have fun. Have a drink. Nothing we can do about it, Israel. Nothing we can do about Ukraine. Plan your shit and collaborate as much as you can. Have a good night. You guys take care of yourselves.